That is like the surprise project. You'll see how it turns out, what it's for. I'm actually making my way to the other land because the cameras there are not working since yesterday. But they turned off like 7 o'clock in the morning or so. So it's a little bit weird. Because that wasn't the time where we had problems with the power in the main house. Let's see what's going on. So maybe it's a gecko and not a mouse? How would a mouse get in here? There is some room, however, behind here. This board they put in. But it's still on, so that's not a problem. Although this light is not coming on, but also I don't really know if it's supposed to be on. The power is still working. Ah, okay, but the cable to this device is not lighting up. It still seems to be doing something though. Hey, multiple devices have reconnected. Okay. It's sometimes with this IT stuff, guys. It's all these different devices. Sometimes there's just like one little hiccup somewhere, and you spend hours finding the hiccup. Or just wait until it goes wrong again, and then after a couple of times maybe it's clear what is the problem. But I like this kind of stuff. This was like my old job. That's why I also kind of like it to do it at Freedomville. But I don't like to spend too much time on it anymore. It's like troubleshooting, right? It's like finding the issue. It's like always a challenge to me. And since I have like some experience with that, it's sometimes cool that you can like pinpoint the problem like almost straight away. Sometimes not. Let's see how long it takes. I have this sort of beaming connection like from the main house to the land. And it's like 2 of these antennas. And they were like 80 bucks, so they weren't that expensive. But they always been functioning pretty well, although it was like sort of a cheaper setup. If it breaks down, I like to have the system from the same as the Wi-Fi and the cameras we already have from Unify. But they're a little bit more expensive. I think a set costs like €300. But it should be integrating a lot more seamless than another brand. So that would have some advantages. What a lovely day here in the ghost town. I think I'm gonna go in my t-shirt. Hey girls! Hola! Akira's making music. Yes, sweetie, I'm gonna call the doctor. Agora. Girls ready? Not really? Come on. Horse. We're going to the big city. You girls have not been in the car for a long time. I think the last time we also went to the vet. We only take trips to the vet here. Soon there might be a trip to Holland, Zoe. What's squeaking there in the back? Something squeaking. Everybody good? One of the pumps is out of service. The fuel prices went up in Portugal, like with 23 cents for diesel. So there were whole queues at the gas stations. I hope they still have some. Feels good? Prices don't really matter that much. I only like put in like 50 euros every time. It's every time the same 50 euros. No, I really don't drive enough to care. I always tell a cool anecdote about this guy who owns this gas station. One of the first times I got there, I didn't know any Portuguese except for gasolio. And I pronounced it wrong because I always said gasoleo instead of gasolio. But I come there with like 220s and I'm like waving my 220s. And por favor, I also knew. So I was like waving with the 20s and like gasolio, por favor. And he said to me, 40. And I'm like, yes, gasolio, por favor. 40. He wanted me to say like the word. So 40 was one of the first, except for like 1 to 10, this I already knew, but 40 was one of the first bigger numbers thanks to this guy, I knew. The Portuguese people are generally very helpful, like in teaching the language, and they appreciate you trying. Although with the younger people, especially in the stores, you now see that they, although I try to speak Portuguese, they revert to English like very fast because they want to be accommodating, right? But I always just try and continue in Portuguese. And what I also notice is that sometimes now when I say I don't speak a lot of Portuguese, they ask me, how long are you here already? And like then I say like 4 years, and then they're like, no, I don't speak any English. Which is fair enough, right? I'm here for 4 years already, I should know better Portuguese. Look at all the devastation still, guys. Everywhere knocked down trees. We have no time for sniffing. We can sniff on the way back. Now, we're already late. Now, Andeka. Come on. Now we can sniff. Who wants to sniff? Oh, espera. Huh? A dedicated bike path in Castelo. Nobody rides a bike here. So we get down from there. Get down. Get down. So it was not what I thought. They're collars. They have these collars for like against fleas and stuff. And after talking to the receptionist this morning, she said that was more than a year ago and they only work for 9 months. So I thought that was causing like the scratching and like the itching that they have. Which still can be, but they don't have any fleas. So last year we were there, we had fleas, all of us. But now there was no fleas to be found. And Zoe was shaking her head all the time. And her ears yesterday were like at a completely different height. So we checked in Zoe's ears and Zoe has an infection in the ear. We don't know why. So she has treatment for the next week. And then we decided to look in Akira's ears. And Akira had a grass seed, but a very old one from last year probably. Completely covered in earwax. So I don't think she was bothered by it. I didn't notice anything. But yeah, we're one seed lighter. Let's go home for lunch. Where you going? Now, sweetie, we need to put the stuff in your ear. In both ears, actually. And also in Akira's ears, yes. It's probably not going to be fun, sweetie. Feels weird? Oh, sweetie, you look very shocked. I need to massage it. Is it okay? No, huh? Okay, this side. What? I need to massage it first. Sorry, sweetie. Akira, your turn. Andeka. Akira. Fica. Did anything come out, sweetie? Yeah. And then after half an hour you also need this, sweetie, but only for one ear.